Alexandra Eala is about to walk into a tournament where, for the first time in her career, she won't need anyone to open the door for her. No wild card, no special invite, no favors, just her ranking and the fact that she's suddenly one of the most dangerous rising players on the WTA Tour. And what she's about to do at the Qatar Open could quietly shift how the entire tennis world views her. Because this isn't just another tournament appearance. This is a statement. Right now, Eala is riding the best wave of form we've seen from her in 2026. Her run in Abu Dhabi didn't just give her wins. It gave her belief, visibility, and something even more important, legitimacy in the eyes of the tour. When she clawed her way back against Alexandra Sasnovich in that gritty comeback, that wasn't just a match victory. That was proof that she can problem solve under pressure against experienced opponents who know every trick in the book. And here's where things get interesting. While fans in Abu Dhabi have been treating her like a hometown hero, packing her matches and bringing that electric energy, something bigger has been happening behind the scenes. Her ranking has been climbing, quietly, steadily, relentlessly. And now it's reached a point where tournament doors don't just crack open, they swing wide. World number 38. That number might not scream superstar yet, but on the WTA Tour, that ranking changes your life. It changes the locker room dynamics. It changes who studies your game. And most importantly, it changes how you get into the biggest events. For the first time ever, Alexandra Eala is entering the Qatar Open, a WTA 1000 event, based purely on her ranking. Let that sink in. Every previous appearance she's had at this level came with an asterisk in the eyes of critics. Wild card, special opportunity, a chance given, not earned. At least that's what some people whispered. But this time, there's no debate. She's there because she belongs there. And if you think that doesn't matter to a young player's confidence, think again. Walking into a WTA 1000 with direct entry is a psychological upgrade. You're not the guest. You're a part of the field. You don't feel like you have to prove you deserve to be in the locker room. You know you do. That subtle shift can completely change how freely a player swings, how boldly they compete, and how they handle the big moments. But the story doesn't stop at just getting in, because the timing of this entry could not be more fascinating. The Qatar Open field has taken some serious hits. Big names have stepped aside, and that has quietly reshaped the draw. Aryna Sabalenka, the world number 1, isn't playing. Madison Keys is out. Jessica Pegula is out. Several other notable names have either withdrawn or extended breaks. And whenever a WTA 1000 loses that many established stars, something happens. Opportunity explodes. Suddenly, the path to deep rounds doesn't look like a wall of Grand Slam champions. It looks like a series of winnable battles for someone who's in form and playing fearless tennis. That someone might just be Alexandra Eala. Now, let's talk about why her game is particularly dangerous in this situation. Eala isn't just grinding out wins. She's doing it with a style that translates well to faster hard courts like the ones in Qatar. She takes the ball early, redirects pace beautifully, and she's shown that she can absorb power from bigger hitters and turn defense into offense in 1 or 2 shots. Against Sasnovich, we saw her reset mentally after going down, adjust her patterns, and start constructing points with maturity beyond her years. That's not just talent. That's growth. And growth is the scariest thing for the rest of the tour, because it means a version of Eala they studied last year might already be outdated. People also forget something important about her. She's already shown she can handle the big stage. That Miami run, where she beat names like IGA Swiatek, Yelena Ostapenko, and Madison Keys, wasn't a fluke moment fueled only by wildcard adrenaline. It was a preview, a glimpse of her ceiling when everything clicks. Now she's arriving in Qatar not as a surprise guest, but as a ranked, seeded-level threat who knows she can beat top players. That mental shift is huge. Instead of thinking, I hope I can compete, she's thinking, I've done this before. I can do it again. And when a young player starts believing that consistently, upsets stop being upsets. They become patterns. Another layer to this story is the crowd factor. Eala has built a passionate fan base across Asia and the Middle East, and her recent run has amplified that support. In Abu Dhabi, the energy around her matches felt different, louder, warmer, personal when a player feels that kind of backing. Especially in tight moments, it can push them through the kind of third-set battles that define tournament runs. If even a fraction of that support carries into Qatar, she won't feel like an outsider there either. But here's the curiosity that makes this entire situation so compelling. How will she handle being expected to win? That's the next evolution for rising stars. It's one thing to shock the world. It's another to walk in with people calling you a dark horse and still deliver. Opponents prepare differently when they know you're dangerous. They don't overlook you. They don't relax for a single game. Eala's challenge in Qatar isn't just about strokes and tactics. It's about managing pressure, managing momentum, and proving that her Abu Dhabi run wasn't a hot week. It was a turning point. And honestly, the draw conditions might be lining up perfectly for that statement. Without some of the top-ranked heavyweights in the mix, the tournament could open up in ways we don't often see at WTA 1000 level. That creates space for a breakout run that changes a season. A quarterfinal or semifinal showing in Doha would rocket her ranking even higher and lock in her status as more than just a promising prospect. It would make her a regular threat. And once that label sticks, everything changes. Sponsors notice. Broadcasters talk about you differently. Higher-ranked players start circling your name when they look at the draw. But before any of that happens, she has to step onto that court in Qatar for the first time as a direct entrant and prove that this new chapter is real. That first match is going to tell us a lot. Will she play free and fearless, riding the Abu Dhabi momentum? Or will the weight of expectations slow her down early? Young players often have a transitional match when they move from hunter to hunted. If she clears that hurdle, though, watch out, because her game has layers. Her lefty patterns can pull opponents wide and open the court in uncomfortable ways. Her court coverage has improved noticeably, allowing her to extend rallies until higher-ranked players press and miss. And perhaps most importantly, her composure has grown. She's no longer rushing the big points. She's building them. That's how you win at WTA 1000 level. And let's be real for a second. Tennis fans love a breakout story. They love watching a young player cross that invisible line from future star to current problem. Eala feels like she's standing right on that line right now. Qatar might be where she steps over it. If she makes a deep run there without the wild card safety net, the narrative around her will change overnight. She won't be introduced as a talented Filipina youngster anymore. She'll be introduced as a top 40 player who can trouble anyone on a hard court. That respect is earned match by match. So what is Alexandra Eala about to do at the Qatar Open for the first time in her career? She's about to compete there on her own ranking, in a draw that's suddenly more open than expected, carrying real momentum, real belief, and real expectations. She's not arriving as a guest. She's arriving as contender. And that shift might be the beginning of the most important season of her career so far. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Eala can turn this opportunity into a deep Qatar run, or is this still one step too soon for her at WTA 1000 level? Tennis IQ is where we break down the stories behind the scorelines, and this season is just getting started. Stick with us.